an awakening.
Snap out of it! Thought-provoking, challenging the popular perspectives, critical of today's opinions. We go all the way in deep. What's a thought's worth if thoughts must conform to ill-conceived theories and so-called orthodox beliefs, twisted opinions of hypocrisy? How do we reach new heights? Ascend to higher realizations, activate the powers of abstract reasoning. We must break the chains that hold us down from celestial flights. Face what you think you know with what you have yet to know. For the moment, never mind how you believe things ought to be. We must revolutionize our minds for there to be a clear way to unify. For that to happen, we must have a seat at the table all over again. Just making sure the light works. Unlock the keys of scrutiny. Revive what it means to pursue knowledge. Manifest the God in we, you and me. Welcome to your wake-up call. Soul Journey of Life. Conscious Black Social Media. The LightDome.
My bad. I thought the shop was closed. I was just like, hey, this is my work. What's this right here? Hold on. Hey, got an idea. Check this out. What are you waiting for? The V's and flows for them with the head still attached to their shoulders. I make amends for what I failed to see until I got a little older. Versatility is a necessity in today's business. Take that as a proverb. You may think it's awkward, but it's really just what I observe. Never mind whatever you heard. I'm Questman, so must flow in sync with the flight of a carnivorous bird. I get high off the knowledge of how to spin around my myrrh. Kaaba, Allahu Akbar, blessed when I honor my mama and Baba. Disrespect them and it's you I clobber. Aha! Just when you thought all those rainy days would keep me weighted, I rise up off the ground like one snapped out of being medically sedated. I salute the melanated, the froze, the locks, and the braided. Naturally, I make it a habit of keep on loving me, so I'm never bothered by the hatred. You see the frames, but I'm that nerd that's naughty by nature. Ice water vapor, flight of the navigator. Put that on paper, sign right there. I tickle the feminine in the wind, tasting candy coated raindrops enough to make your head spin. Brother, this is not a ring you really want to get in. Really? I'm a wordsmith, make a nerve switch. After you heard this, you might just want to roll another. Hold up, as I spit for the righteous, yeah, you might need to pass that as we battle the current crisis. I see red and blue lights in the streets. I bow my head because the fallen carry the same blood my heart beats. Hold it down, UNIFY. Hold it down. Hold it down, UNIFY. Hold it down.
Spin that pluralistic, high quality gold subtone submission. My flow is sadistic. Call me the wordsmith. Keys to the untold stories that bring your passion to glories. Educating the sun, moon, and youth. The universal which introduces logic, ignites ideologies. Flying on philosophies, carrying the baby of a dying breed. Correlating ancestors to restore the community. Praying on the cloud notes and on my knees, soaring on cosmic energies. To reverse the mindset of the ignorant, building abundance and breaking down generational curses. As I smirk, giving you positive hurt. Rebuking the vapor that we breathe in and calibrates our mental to damage, disfigure, disturb that thought process, sorting out the weak. Seeking to kill, still in the destroy. The blessings made on a stone of exhilarating cake that celebrates the victory set out for the world. Exhilarate prosperity.
Hold it down, UNIFY. Hold it down. Hold it down, UNIFY.
Gathering my collectiveness. Nico B.
Making sure the mic is on. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. All right. In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful. This is your brother Abdul Wadud, aka Questman, coming at you live. Soul Journey of Life, conscious black social media. Just making sure the light works. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, hotep, peace and blessings be with you. Welcome. Please do me this small favor and like, share, and subscribe. So today, or tonight, I should say, been doing a lot of reflecting as I tend to do anyway, and I've been noticing some patterns or whatnot in the what I like to term as the black thought. You understand the the black inspiration. You understand just this things I'm noticing in our behavior throughout the course of time, at least the course that I've been able to observe, and I see some patterns. I see some things that I wonder if in what I'm observing is a way is our strength and perhaps solutions to some of the things that we're going through and some of the things that we're striving for. I think that sometimes it's easy to to point out our weaknesses or shortcomings because they're easy, they're plain to see. But I think that sometimes when you want to be strategic, when you want to move in a certain direction, uh, you know, looking at where we are strong at and trying to understand how that can be used to our advantage, how that can be used, um, you know, in our better interest. And so I was looking at just a variety of things. And like just recently, I was watching this clip of just it was a fight with Israel Adesanya. And maybe I can get that back. I closed it up. But a fight with Israel Adesanya. And I'll tell you who he was fighting against. Let's go here. I will tell you who the brother was fighting against in a minute. As soon as I can find it. Oh, here it is. Let's see. He was fighting Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira. And the fight was a challenging fight. You understand? It wasn't, I mean, he was, Alex was kind of giving Israel, a run for the money a little bit for the, first, um, for the first parts of the match. And it even looked like at the last round, at the bottom end of the round, that that Israel was in trouble. But it was actually at that point when it looked like he was getting scuffed up and everything. I'm gonna show you that he came out, that he just like that was he laid him down, took advantage, and ended up winning the fight. Um, Let me see. Before I share that, of course, we got to do these little things, these little formalities. You know, the disclaimer here, right here, right here. We're using this for fair use, educational purposes, motivational purposes, not for profit or what have you. Tips, things of that nature, research, scholarship, teaching, reporting, commenting, news, criticism, all of that. Fair use. Make a long story short. So let's see here. I put that right here, so let me move that over here so it's easy to deal with. And I just want to show you, if I can, the last few minutes of this fight. The last few minutes of this fight. Now, throughout the fight, the brother, like I said, Israel Adesanya, had been, he'd been getting kicked around and his legs getting kind of, warmed up a bit. And I guess Alex felt like, he could just come on in on Israel and go in for the win. But Alex was greatly mistaken, as you'll see here. Let's take a look and a listen.
He's very hip to it right now, though.
Oh, nice right hand to the body.
That's good combination.
And there's that low kick again. It's so heavy, even though it's coming off the front leg. Oh, there's that right hand, but Pereira rolled with it.
So yeah, he's Alex has been kicking him around a little bit. And just pay attention to the last few minutes of this round. And that'll be a point
now
that I want to build
stalking
on.
here late in the round. There's that leg kick again.
That one hurt him. You saw him buckle with that low kick.
He's going to limit him to southpaw.
Here it comes.
Again. Pereira so dangerous.
Oh!
Wow. Just like that. And he wins. So I was just kind of admiring the moment of victory, right? At where it looked like everything was a big L coming to Israel's way, and it was at that moment. You understand? It was at that moment that Israel bounced back and took the victory. Now, I'm saying this for a reason, because Brother Israel is an excellent fighter. You understand? UFC, kickboxing, you name it. Excellent fighter. And so when you see this brother come out victorious in each, especially being at the top, when you see him coming with the belt, he got the belt at that match right there. When you see him coming up at top, it's like a sense of honor, a sense of pride. Now, he won the match, but for some reason, when we watch him win, there's a sense of victory that we feel we've won too. Like we won right along with him. We watch it like we're sharing in on the victory. So I'm looking at things like this. I'm gonna go even further. If you're aware, there's a sister who's a runner by the name of Sha'Carri Richardson. I'm going to show you her next. And let me start it right there. Let's check out her victory. And there's just something. There's an energy that comes from this. So just see if you can connect with the energy that I'm talking about. And by the way, before I forget, I'm gonna put this in the chat here. This chat is this link is the invitation to this chat that I'm going to invite, anybody that has any thoughts or commentary to add to what's being talked about in the most respectful, conscious way, because this is Sojourner of Life, the Conscious Black social media platform. So we try to come in, with respectful content or commentary. So there's the link right there, you see. But let's check out this victory of Sha'Carri Richardson. And let's take a look at what I want you to look at is the behavior of the victory and how does it make you feel, black man, black woman, brothers and sisters. How does it make you feel seeing this? Let me I didn't share it yet. Hold on. Let's put the share on. Share screen. How does it make you feel watching this?
They're away first time. Can Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price deliver? She's got a good start, but watch Sharika Jackson. Sharika Jackson, is she just going to do it? Oh, on the near side, right at the end. They were getting ready from nowhere in lane 9. It's an incredible performance from Sha'Carri Richardson. Richardson came through like a rocket in lane 9. Her first global final, and she tastes gold. The iconic 5-times champion was stunned. Richardson needed a better start than she got in the semis, and she came through in fine style, and maybe, just maybe, being in lane 9 was the best thing that could have happened to her for that final. 10:65. That is outstanding.
Yeah.
Lyles took the men's title. Richardson has stormed to the women's title.
Okay, so now we take a look at these type of clips like this, and the question you have to ask yourself is how does that make you feel seeing the sister who's an excellent Olympian at her her skill right there? How does that make you feel? And what out of that represents Black excellence? What do you take from that to be a demonstration of Black excellence? You understand? And what is it about seeing our own, meaning when I'm saying our own, other melanated brothers and sisters become victorious, that makes us so excited, that makes us so energized? You understand? Like we were the ones who won that race. We were the ones who won that UFC match. What is it in there that connects us to these experiences that we watch? Now I'm going to go even further. I'm going to go back a little bit, sticking with the track star element. Let me make sure you guys can hear me too, by the way. Checking 1 2 1 2, microphone check. Okay, I can see the thing going on there. Got to make sure I'm not just talking to myself. So let's take a look. This is Usain Bolt. This is Usain Bolt. And peace and blessings, dear sister. And my prayers and my regards are with you. I definitely understand. And also to answer what you inquired about earlier, it's a fight. It's a fight. That I'm going through right now, and it's kind of like a David versus Goliath type situation because I'm like in on it alone, and I don't really have the proper type of support or team or whatnot to deal with it. So it's looking very, very challenging for me. I'll just say that, and I'm trying to mentally condition myself to be able to, whatever reality can come out of this, to be able to deal with it and not allow it to destroy me as an individual. That's all I can think to say about that for now. But let's check out this match. Usain Bolt. Because at the end of the day, the show must go on, so to speak. I have to keep on keeping on either way for the sake of the bigger picture. Usain Bolt. Now, as he's being draped with that gold medal, I know when I was watching this, because I remember when this went down, just like I can recall when the Sha'Carri Richardson victory took place. There was a bit of excitement going on inside, like you were hoping that she would win, and in this case, you were hoping that the brother would win, come through, and seeing it happen, seeing the gold being draped around was something important. There's something else that's come to my thought as I was watching this. If you saw there was a match that had Sha'Carri Richardson representing the United States, then you had the sisters representing Jamaica, and then you had the sisters representing Britain. And I was thinking to myself,
all these teams, Britain, all they had on their team was sisters, meaning melanated women. And even on their male squad, they only had melanated brothers. On the United States, it was all melanated brothers, melanated sisters. I was like, well, what message is this? What does this mean? When every time it comes to, bringing out excellence to represent your country, you understand? It's the melanated people that you got to put up at the front. It's the melanated, the black brothers and sisters that gets the job done. And yet, I'm looking like, man, these same countries are giving brothers and sisters a hard time, a very hard time, a very sad time, oppressive time. But yet, at the same time, when it comes to you showing excellence, it's the black man and black woman that you want to show. It's the black man and black woman that brings up your greatest opportunity for success, for profit, for entertainment, you name it. Whenever it comes, I mean, this is the only exception. Hussein is a Jamaican, so okay, that's the exception to the rule. But Sha'Carri, she's a melanated sister. I don't know where she's from particularly, but all in all, when you think of when the way that this country presents itself, especially when it comes to when it wants to demonstrate its leadership or its authority, it tends not to be the melanated brothers and sisters that they want to show, even though, as you'll see here shortly, that was even represented in a way. But what is it about when it comes to actually getting the job done? When it comes to actually getting the hard work done, that the only representation, the primary dominant representation that gets to be shown is melanated brothers and sisters. So that's on their side. But on our side, what about all of this motivates us and inspires us and makes us jump out of our seat when you see Mike Tyson knock this man down, when you see, hold on, let me show rather than just talk about it. Let's hear what this brother has to say right here. Let's hear what this brother. Let's hear this brother's interpretation of black excellence.
Okay, get Cassius play. Wait. Whoa. Hold it. He's yelling behind us. Cassius play. Wait, come here, champ. I'm the greatest thing that ever lived. No, wait, I don't have. Now hold it. Move over, Joe. Get on. I don't have a mark on my face. Hold it. Bedlam busting out here. So great, I don't have a mark on my face. Yeah. And I upset Sonny Liston, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest. I told the world, I talk to God every day. If God's with me, can't nobody be against me. Sonny, I shook up the world. I know God. I know the real God. Cassius, wait a minute, Cassius. Let me ask you this now. You told me when you visited in Los Angeles, you could do it in 8. Well, you thought Sonny and figured Sonny was great. How come you did it in 6 or 7? You did it in 7. I had him going in 8. I was getting ready to take him in the 8th, as you can see. But the man stopped it just to keep from making me look so great. I say, now, give us that poetry on number 7. He wanted to go to heaven, so I took him in 7. You took him in 7. I am the king of the world. Hold it. I'm pretty. Hold it. You're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. Wait a minute. You must listen to me. Now listen. I am the devil.
Okay.
All right, hold it. Ladies and gentlemen.
So I can imagine that those who were present during that time, watching that on TV or hearing it on the radio, they were probably amped up out of the seats when this brother won that victory. I mean, even now, we're watching clips and I can feel the energy, you understand, coming from the brother. And I'm looking at some of the ideas that might be behind why we take so much pride in black excellence. And when we see ourselves at our best, and why, how that is a motivative factor. When you see yourselves in today's time, in the everyday life, you find us in a very repressed, oppressed situation where we are we've been brought up in a society that tries to defame us, shame us, mislabel us. They can't ever really, when they want to talk about us, they can't ever really talk about us in a way that shows us honor and adeptness and greatness. But there must be some other reason. They must be responsible for it somehow. Somehow you'll find in news where they try to tie themselves to our victories, like it was because of them, or it was because they were from America, or it was because they were from Britain, and that's the reason why they won. Not because Black excellence, not because this is just who we are and what we do. And so I'm looking back, I'm looking at these moments. I'm looking at when even I watched some videos, and I'm not going to show them, but where there was some brutality going on, and there was the young man was actually fighting back. You understand? Fighting back the police. And I was looking at the commentary. I think this was on IG, I believe. I was looking at the commentary and how excited people were in seeing the black man becoming victorious and then escaping and getting away. I don't know if he got caught later, but at that time he was able to run off. And people were so excited about this, like, oh yeah, just cheering it on. And now I'm not, applauding any violence or hostility, but I understand how they feel. You understand, given the way things are in our times, I understand how they feel. But what I'm getting at is when we see these moments that we rise up out of a hard situation, of an oppressive situation, there's something that comes through all of us as we're sitting there watching it happen. Yeah, when we watch the drama happen, when we watch the brutality happen, we feel a certain kind of way. But I'm talking about when we see ourselves win. When that young man was able to break free, and not only did he break free, but he gave the officer something to think about as he broke free and got away. Now, I mean, again, somebody might say, "Well, oh man, he was being," of course, the news would have reported that as, "Oh, he was a thug. He was," they would have completely ignored the fact that this person was rolled up on incorrectly and inappropriately, and was approached in a way that was not proper. And we're in a climate where we are being mistreated on a regular. So they don't want to mention that, and they don't want to tie that all together to why we would look at this type of situation and take it as a victory. Why we would take that as a victory. Now, I want to go back in time because I can remember it, because I'm still talking about this Black excellence. I don't like the politics of the establishment. I don't agree with it. I don't support it. I don't have nothing right or left, this or that. To me, it's all part of one wicked body. But I can remember when Barack Obama was running for president. And yes, I did participate in the voting in both opportunities. But what I want to look at is, I want to go back and look at the moment of victory, because I can remember how I felt when I watched the victory take place and him giving his victory speech. Because I watched the entire victory speech. And I just remember how I felt, because on one side of my brain, this was just something that I never thought was going to happen. On the other side, I'll have to remain silent for just a little bit, because it's like, based upon the way that I think and the way that my mind operates, it was predictable. But for the sake of my emotions and whatnot and how I was feeling, I'm not going to deny I was excited. I was emotional. You understand? When I saw Barack Obama stepping up as the president of the country.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next first day of the United States of America.
Okay. So this brings me to another point. I just wanted you to see that because you may not see it now. So much time has gone by since now and then, but I remember the energy. You understand? I remember the energy that was there. There was one of those moments where during the election, during the campaigning, I should say, where I had been present, and there was a Jay-Z concert. Jay-Z was present performing, but what I was thinking about as I'm reflecting on all this is how Black excellence is used both in our favor and against us, meaning that our adversaries, those who, and we do have adversaries for those that may not think that we do have people that are contrary to our interests. Their interests are contrary to our interests. Their interests are contrary to us being able to manifest ourselves in the way that's in accordance with our nature. We do have adversaries, but our adversaries also know who we are, what our nature is. And so they also know what motivates us and what inspires us, what gets us riled up. And say, so that can, this knowledge can also be used in a very critical way. You understand? A very critical way. It can be used in a very deceptive way, a psychological way, to where it affects the way you think, what you perceive, how you perceive the world around you, how you perceive what's going on, making you make believe, right? So that you think that's one thing is happening when in reality, it's nothing like you perceive and happening in real time. And so many of us are caught up in emotions when it comes to moments and may not realize whether this is authentic or whether this is true. And it puts us in a particular predicament because it makes it so that when things are true, they tend to be harder to believe. And we become doubtful because no, it can't be, that can't be true. It can't be like it seems to be. There must be something else. Or when it is false, when there are blatant lies being presented to you, programming you, then it becomes hard to let go and reject or break free from the damage that the programming has done. So when you know that, if you look at the pattern of things going on today, and you look at things from a bird's eye view, here's what I see. If I was a meteorologist for the observing the Black experience. I see a party of whites working overtime to befriend us, working overtime to do things that are appealing and pleasing to us, to our emotions and ideals, trying to do things that they perceive would connect with us. I see this all over IG. If you scroll up and down IG, I see there's always some white lady or black man wanting to shout out, did you know that in Black history, the blacks used to do this? They were kings over here and kings over there. Did you know that when this black was a slave, she was actually successful and a hero and this, that, and the other? And it's a white person telling you this. I'm thinking to myself, why are you guys doing this? I mean, we've been here for, nearly 500 plus years, and all of a sudden you want to have this positive outlook about us. And I'm not saying that they don't mean well. The individuals that I see doing this may mean well, but I also understand how economics and business works and how some groups of people know how to make a buck. You understand? They know how to flow. They know how to surf off of the wave of what's popular at the time. And right now, if you haven't noticed, the melanated people worldwide are becoming very, very popular, which makes good money in the market. You understand? There's a lot of money to be made if you are a white person that sees this wave of black elevation, this wave of where there's a transition going on, a black storm brewing. You understand? And so they see this and they're making either they're trying to pick themselves on a side to where, okay, if I'm on this side, though, I'm in the safe zone. Or there's an opportunity to make a buck or two, or get some likes, or get some trends. Whatever the case may be. Or again, like I said, they may mean well, but if a bunch of snakes are coming down a hill, I'm not going to try to wait and decide which ones are poisonous or not, as it's been said. I'm going to treat them all as snakes and the potential that they're all poisonous. Now, some people may say that that's kind of hard, brother. Well, when you kind of look at the way things have been going throughout the history, I'm going to simply quote Malcolm X. There's nothing you could do to help us. And for me, that's solid truth. The only help that we will ever be able to get in any of our suffering is from ourselves. And let me show you an example of a melanated country that has realized that. Let me get back past this commercial. Let me show you a melanated country that has realized that the only ones that is going to get the job done when it comes to stepping up for what you believe to be right and exact are your own people. Nobody else. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And it's interesting that the example that I'm going to show you is an example of a country that's named after a term that's been used ancestrally and in modern times. In modern times, it's been used in a more of a derogatory way. You understand? Used to shame us, used to belittle us, used to try to hurt us emotionally, mentally. But the country I'm talking about, if you haven't caught my hints yet, it's Niger.
Around 100 students have demonstrated in Niamey to support the military who took control of Niger in a coup last week. Protesters were angry at ECOWAS sanctions and threats of military intervention. I'd like to appeal to the media and even to the people of Niger to understand that what ECOWAS or the international community is doing is nothing more than intimidation, and that we don't even believe in that, he says. All people have to do is keep their Nigerian spirit alive, and that's what's going to get us out of this intimidation. ECOWAS imposed sanctions on Niger and gave coup leaders a week to reinstate President Bazoum. 63 years of aid, where are we, he asks. We're last in Africa, and yet we're told that Niger is very rich in potential, and then we're last. So what's the point of foreign aid? We'd be resilient behind our defense and security forces to be able to rest our independence on new independence.
So basically, what I'm
Niger's
trying to
junta
show you
has
here,
vowed to respond immediately to any foreign intervention. Meanwhile,
you may not be aware. You may not be aware of what that's about, but basically, in recent reports, there was a point where the Niger military took over the power of the government and ousted the president that was in power at the time. Now, what makes that such a big deal is because it's been well known for some time that France had strong ties in the country that it once colonized, and it maintained those ties, its economic ties and whatnot, in such a way that was, in so many words, oppressive to the people of Niger. In other words, the people of Niger didn't benefit in any way from what you might consider extortion that France had been doing to Niger. So at some point, the powers in Niger had enough. You understand? Had enough of dealing with that, and so they not only outs the president, but they even later outs the embassy representation or whatnot. And so I'm showing this because yet again, here's another example of when I saw this, there was a feeling, there was a kind of energy in watching this happen. You understand? I'm going to show you another something here. I got to pass these commercials by of a person that when I saw this brother for the first time, there was a kind of energy, especially when I heard him speak some things that he was speaking. This was in a neighboring country of Niger, and actually a country that's made it a point to announce that they would step up and have the back of Niger should anybody have any designs of trying to attack Niger, which to me is black etiquette par excellence. I mean, it's like what happened down in Alabama recently. One brother was under attack, and brothers, they didn't know the brother from anybody, but all they know is that brother's under attack. We need to show up. And they showed up and made sure that those people on that riverside got the message. So here on another scale, as a result of Niger's misbehavior, some of the other current puppetry of France and other countries have been pushed or being pushed or compelled to respond to this. How dare you do such an action, Niger? Now we've got to do something back, they're saying. So the Burkina Faso leadership is like, well, if you want to do that, just know that we got their back, and also some other countries like I believe Mali and what have you. But let me show you something here. I wanted to show you this clip before this is Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Rolling right there.
Captain Ibrahim Traore was appointed president of Burkina Faso on Wednesday. The appointment comes less than a week after the latest coup in the West African country, the second in less than 9 months. The spokesman for the Patriotic Movement for Safeguarding and Restoration made the announcement on national television. The president of the Patriotic Movement for Safeguarding and Restoration will serve as head of state and supreme commander of the National Armed Forces. He is the guarantor of the independence of the judiciary.
Now, I'm not going to go play it all the way through, but the point that I'm trying to get at, family, I don't know if you've been paying attention to a lot of the international news going on, but one of the things that I admire out of this brother is the character. You understand? Because, you know, I'm looking at the sense of confidence. You understand? The sense of being sure about what he's on, not being afraid, not tucking his tail, and continuing on in the face of resistance, in the face of being hated on. As you know, anytime if you try to do something, especially we know this here in this country, anytime you try to do something that could make a difference for you, that could be positive and beneficial for the Black community, you're going to be hated on by those in the systemically racist establishment of powers that be. You're going to be hated on and in some way hindered, dealt with, or whatever. Either, you know, like in my situation, your family gets infiltrated and broken up, or you get incarcerated, or you lose your life, or any number of these things, when it starts to be clear that what you're doing is effective. Now, in this case, you're dealing with an entire a leadership that's backed by an entire army. You understand? The army of their country. And saying, so it's a whole nother thing. It's now you got to listen to what I'm doing, what I'm saying, because you know I've got backup, I've got support. if you think of something other than listening to what I'm saying. See, I'm banking off of that vibe right now, that vibe of seeing Black excellence, Black empowerment. When we are empowered, when we are in a position to where we can actually do something, say something. It's the reason why we like Black Panther. It's the reason why we like I don't know if you guys saw like Luke Cage or something like that. It's the reason why we like when we see these different examples. So I'm going to bring yet another example of Black excellence. But I'm showing you these things from a very straight out of the media mix point of view. So you're hearing these narrations coming from regular run-of-the-mill media. So you hear their spin on things. But let's take a look at something here. And I want to well, let me show you this first. So this is, for those that may not know, some of you who've been watching Soul Journey of Life, the Light Dome, may already know about the militia known as the NFAC. And in this situation, the NFAC, for those that may not know, is the first Black militia in the United States, legal Black militia in the United States, founded by a brother by the name of Grandmaster Jay, aka John Fitzgerald Johnson. Currently, the brother is behind bars, and if you had been paying attention along the way, you would know that the brother is behind bars on very highly questionable charges. He's been convicted of very questionable charges, if not just outright bogus, and has been, serving time behind bars since losing the trial hearing, and is currently going through appealing processes. But I want to show you this because this is an example of another moment in our time, in our history, where that energy showed up again. That same energy.
calling for justice, traveling from Georgia all the way to Louisville. A militia group called NFAC, not related to Black Lives Matter, adding their names to the growing voices demanding justice for Breonna Taylor. Good evening and thanks for joining us at 6:30. I'm Paulina Butska. A live look right now at their formation, which has been out in the heat all day, marching from Baxter Park to Jefferson Square Park. You'll recall on 4th of July in Stone Mountain, Georgia, over 1,000 people, led by Grand Master Jay, marched peacefully with police escorts calling for the removal of the largest Confederate monument in Atlanta. Now, tonight, they've made their way right here to Louisville, to Jefferson Square Park, where they've been addressing the crowd. Jesse Cohen spoke to Grand Master Jay, and she joins us live. Jesse, what is his message?
Well, Paulina, the NFAC left just about an hour ago, making their way from Baxter Square down here to Jefferson Square Park, and then back in that direction toward 12th and Jefferson. But before they left for the first time, we watched people scatter and duck behind cars running from a gunshot. We watched 2 people get into ambulances. Grandmaster Jay says that during a security check, one of the guns went off.
Notice how they want to talk about that. They want to talk.
Now, Grandmaster Jay tells us the 2 people hurt are expected to be okay, and with help from their medics and EMS, they work together to make that happen. After leaving the park, we walked with the big crowd down Jefferson to Jefferson Square Park, where some of the members spoke to the crowd from the steps of Metro Hall. They say this march was part 2. Part 1 was speaking to the Attorney General, Daniel Cameron, about getting answers in the Breonna Taylor case.
And let them know in so uncertain terms, it's not just the people of Louisville that you owe an explanation to. You owe an explanation to Black people, period. Because this is not an isolated incident.
Now, there was also chatter of other groups coming to protest against NFAC. The only group we encountered were the 3.
Never mind all that. I showed you this because when that was happening, there was a great feeling, a great vibe, an energy in the air. And it's the same kind of energy that I'm seeing again and again and again and again. And I'm seeing it more often than not coming from our people. And by the way, for those that may want to know or have an interest, if you would like to be able to show some support or get more information about Brother Grandmaster Jay, take a look at that link right there at the bottom of my screen. That'll help you go to where you can get more information. You type that in your browser, take a look, and even I believe there are links and whatnot that'll lead you to where you can show your support and donate, because the brother is in a situation that needs as much support as possible, because, you know, there's an old saying, no good deed goes unpunished. And this is an example because the brother was on point and in the proper time, you know, and just yet another example of what happens when Black excellence, you know, ascends, you understand, and does things that show what we're capable of doing. Earlier, you saw that I showed, you know, our performance in sports, even our performance in politics, and here our performance as a militia organizer, you understand, and founder. So it makes me wonder, with all of these aspects of greatness, what can't we do? Because really, when I'm looking at what challenges we face in our time, we don't have any excuse but to be victorious. We don't have, I mean, how is it that we're the fastest people on the planet? We're the most eloquent people on the mic, most skilled in the rhyme, able to organize people from the bottom up. What on earth is our excuse? I don't believe we have one. And I believe that, you know, as we start paying, if we start paying more attention in today's time, we'll start seeing that we are all being called to manifest Black excellence. It makes me think of back in the days, right? when we, I remember back when there was this mall in Columbus called the City Center Mall. It was like the hangout spot downtown. And sometimes, artists, we might, I'm talking about hip hop artists, local artists would come through. We'd walk through, and sometimes we'd bump at each other. They had this little area that was kind of like an indoor theater, amphitheater type thing. And we'd sit there, and some cats would come up. I haven't said that in a while. Some brothers would come up, and we'd be spitting game to the ladies or whatever, and some brothers would come up and be like, "Oh man, we who are y'all? We heard about y'all. We heard that y'all could rhyme and this and that and this and that." Pumping each other's head up because everybody knew each other, locally, and I was like, yeah, who are you? Who are you? And it's like, who am I? Oh, this is Questman over here, and this is my main man, Racket Man over here, and this is so and so. The next thing you know, somebody feel like battling. It felt like the battle rhymes would come up, And the thing is that there was that instinct, if you would, that man, the ladies are right here. We can't go out. We can't take an L on this one. I'm sorry. We just can't. We can't leave this day with an L. You got the ladies here that we already, been chopping it up with, running, spitting the game with, and so the dudes came up there, and of course, Questman had his way, but and you may not realize this. I've shared this with some people, but I have a song that was the song that I had that was my lyrics that ended up becoming my lyrics for that song, but it was from a battle rap that I did at City Center Mall. I never forget, and that's the reason why it's a song, because I was so tickled at how the sisters were responding to it and just the effect that it had. So I was like, oh man, I gotta make sure I keep this one. I gotta keep this one locked in. If you want to look it up, and I might play it again here just for fun because I like it. It's called Rattle Bones. The main lyrics in that song are essentially the battle rap, the flow that I dropped with these dudes in City Center Mall, and so I never forget that moment. So it's like a what do you want to call that? The song is sentimental to me in that effect because I was so energized, I was so riled up, and then to come out, with us being victorious in this situation. So that's what I'm saying. This is the thing that I'm getting at, is that we're competitive people. You understand? We like to outdo one another. If you look at the Cherie, I can't even pronounce the sister's name. Sha'Carri Richardson. She was being competitive with the sisters from Jamaica and the sisters from Britain. They were competitive, but still they were like family though. At the end, you saw them come and hug, give each other their recognition, their props, but they were it was competitive. But it was only them. They didn't have nobody else to compete with. I think one of the matches had like one white girl or somebody running. Nobody even thought about that. They didn't even pay attention to her. It was me. It was you, Jamaican, the other Jamaican. It was just like that, competitive. So we're competitive people anyway, and we come from an ancestry to where, I mean, if you look at our stories, wherever we've been, it's always been like, we would challenge each other. And it's in that challenging one another that we ended up arriving at our point of excellence. Because we see what we're capable of, and nobody wants to be outdone. So it means that when you come to the mic, when you come to the track, when you come to the podium, when you come to the battlefield, wherever it is that you're coming, you got to come all the way. You understand? I mean, like I said, when you look at brother Ibrahim, the now president of Burkina Faso, you see that he's carrying an aura of confidence. You don't see him, like some of these leaders, you see them like they're just all humbled and we just want peace, all meek. And I mean, yeah, there's a place for humility. There's a place for a kind of meekness, but there's also a place where you've got to have some spine. You've got to stand up and hold yourself up. You understand? And when you see these type of Brother Grandmaster Jay, that all through, all you ever saw, if you saw a person that was imposing, that was in your face, like you aren't going to break me down type of person. And that's why a lot of brothers and sisters have to this day a respect for him. That's why those who continue to support him to this day still do so, because they see a person who's going through all this and still remains solid. We respect solid. We respect excellence. We respect when we win. It's something about seeing us winning that motivates us. And I'm saying that if we can gain victories in the proper places, that it will have a trickle-down effect in the community, because young brothers, young sisters see this. They see there was a little girl imitating Sha'Carri Richardson, had her running and everything. That's a psychological effect. That little girl's hero is Sha'Carri Richardson. I remember even my own little daughter was so impressed by GMJ. Watching him, that when she finally met him, she was able to actually say his name. She knew his name. I'm just saying, these things, when it's the excellence that we want to present amongst ourselves so that we can motivate each other. We can spend hours chopping each other down and exposing each other's weaknesses and whatnot. We've all got all kinds of dirty laundry that needs to be washed, so to speak. But if you notice, that doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't make anybody do what it does do, because that's still kind of bitten on each other. When we sitting there like, oh man, I heard this, I heard that, or see, he did this, it's kind of bitten. And the thing about bitten on one another is it makes the other person like, dang, they're saying that. So that means when I come with this rhyme now, I got to come in a way that avoids whatever they was claiming over here, or I got to show up in a way, man, yesterday they said my clothes, my jeans was like this, that, and the other. So that means I got this, oh man, your clothes is wrinkled. So that means he comes to school the next day with creases and everything, giving them no room for attack. And not only did he come with creases, but he came hooked up better than what they're on. So he came up with excellence. Black excellence, family. That's I'm just saying. I believe that if we show more of this, and not only show more, but embrace those involved. I loved how they embraced Sha'Carri Richardson when she basically shouted out her people after that victory. She passed by this media, passed by that media, didn't even give them any look, any holler. No thank you. But went up to the brother, made sure she gave him some airtime. And then let the family know that the reason for her rhyme, the reason for her flow, the reason for why she was doing what she was doing, what it meant for her. Shouted out the people. The younger generations see that. They see this motivation. And so they're like, so she ends up becoming a hero. And as long as she continues to uphold high standards for herself, you understand? Because, like I said, the thing about this enemy is they love to break us down. They love to find some way to shame us, because by doing that, it makes us turn against one another. So I've got the link in the chat here, family. I've got the link there in the chat. And it's there for a reason. For the reason of, I would like to invite you to kind of share in on your experiences of Black excellence, what you've observed, and what does it mean to you? Why are we so competitive with one another? Why in this do we become stronger? We become a better version of ourselves. There's one thing when people have like a bad faith, where they're just trying to tear you down. But we have a mindset. If you look through our story, you will see where it wasn't about tearing you down. It was like, look, I see these things in you. Like one of the, in battle rapping, one of the things that makes battle rapping so powerful when it's done is the artists are looking at each other. They're looking at their environment. They're looking at them. They're thinking about what they know about the opponent, and they're bringing that all to exposure. It all gets exposed when you get on the battle rap field. And so what does the opponent do? The opponent brings out his excellence. Like, nah, man, I've been doing this and that and that. I've been doing this, and you can't even stop. He's just going all off at it, chopping him down. While at the same time, lifting himself up, showing his excellence, showing how good he is, how skilled he is, how much tactics he's got, how much whatever. And it makes them, when they're back and forth, it makes them both step it up the next time, until only the excellence comes out of it. Only the excellence comes out of it. So, I'm asking you, come in and rhyme with a brother, talk with a brother. How is Black excellence used in our favor? How is it used against us? Like I said, I loved very much seeing Obama standing in the posture of a president. That the system is full of disagreeable elements is one thing, but I can't deny. I'd be faking the funk if I told you that I didn't like seeing Barack Obama when he won his first victory, and I still liked it even when I saw him have the second victory. I was disappointed the minute that he opened his mouth about the institution of marriage, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I was disappointed because I felt that was an opportunity for him to, as a president, stand his ground. But like, again, when you get a certain kind of understanding of the institution of presidency in this country, then you understand what's going on there. So yeah, we love a good challenge. And all these things are more, and I believe that, the unity that we desire is not going to be the unity that's commercialized by the West. It'll be a unity that's reflective of our ancestry. You understand? Where it only harvests the best. So when people think that, this promotion of unity is for everybody, it's not. That would be a dream come true if it was something like that, but that's not reality. But it's a harvest, the cream of the crop, as one lyricist will put it. Cream of the crop. That's the unity that must be had here. That's the unity. Because, again, when we see these manifestations of excellence, everything else that would be of it or in sync with it is going to fall in place. They're all fall in place. Think about these what it takes to become part of some of these armies. You've got people who are well trained. Then you got people who are trained, and then you got the people who are learning. And they're motivated when they see the people up front who are well trained. You understand? And then you got people who are admirers who want to become, and so they're just following along. I don't know if you remember the Malcolm X movie, where they were showing you the march to the hospital, and you saw the NOI brothers all in their trench coats and whatnot, and you saw everybody else. But they came along because they saw the impressive, imposing, brave, courageous posture that Malcolm X and the NOI at that time were demonstrating. So they needed to be a part of that. They needed to have a place in that. That's why I'm saying all that's necessary for any kind of real success is that the cream of the crop unify. You understand? That the elite, the elective, the elect or whatnot rise up and unify. All of the examples of our, and that we amplify all these examples of Black excellence, all these examples where you see us win. This needs to, Sha'Carri Richardson needs to be like Jesse Owens in history. That needs to be just like Jesse Owens in history. Israel Adesanya, that's the Muhammad Ali of UFC. Things like that, and to see and like I said, we make our own heroes. We don't allow anyone to tell us who our heroes should be or shouldn't be. That's outside of us. We establish what is heroic to us. When I see brothers and sisters in the commentaries of the Sha'Carri Richardson victories, I see examples of that. Same with the brother Israel. Same with when I saw when I was watching the commentary revolving around the general, now President Ibrahim Traore. I want to show you this list right here. 120 things you probably didn't know were created by Black inventors. I was just looking at this, kind of came across it, and I thought it'd be interesting to share in this particular live. If I can share it, yeah, there it is. 120 things you probably didn't know were created by Black inventors. I'm just scrolling down, and I'm just looking at some of the things. Folding cabinet chair, Sarah Goody, potato chips. I didn't know potato chips were invented by a brother, but I can see why though. I understand, because we love our chips. We love all of that. Fish and chips, potato chips. George Crumb, gas mask. I remember that. Garrett Morgan, protective mailbox. I don't know nothing about that. Philip B. Downing, blood bank. Just take a look at this page and just look. Improved ironing board, home security. Where's it at? I don't know, it's down here somewhere. I was looking at the one of the images you saw was the folding chair. All of these things are inventions by Black folk, melanated folks, brothers and sisters. And this is just 100. This is just 120. This isn't the total sum. This is just 120. I wonder if they'll mention the internet. For those that may not know, that even the internet was invented by a brother. If I remember correctly, the internet was invented by a brother. And if I remember, even Facebook was originally designed or involved a melanated person. If I remember Facebook, I got to look that up again so I can find out the name. But I remember that being discussed at one time. But yeah, you can take a look at that. Look at the things there that you see on that list. And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Because all it shows me is what is our limitations. I'm firmly convinced, like I've said before, our own enemy will come from us, or has. Our own enemy is from our own. I'm talking about our greatest enemy. It's not them. It's not them, because I believe that if we dealt with that enemy, the real enemy, they couldn't do anything to us. The lesser enemies, because that's what they are. They're the lesser enemies. There's not a darn thing on the planet Earth they could do to us if we were able to conquer the greater enemy. So I'm just saying, if you doubt this idea, if you doubt this, I mean, you don't have to go too far. Walk into the Vatican Church, walk into even some of the Russian cathedrals, and you see our images there in the most sacred parts of their buildings. So even they know the importance of Black excellence. Even they know the importance of Black excellence. But in order for them to continue existing, enough of us have to be controlled. So in order for us to be properly controlled, there has to be one of us that a select group of us or individuals that they are able to serve in their ability to control the rest of us. That brings me to another point. If you haven't paid attention, you see that there's war going on. But it's not just any kind of war. You need to understand the mindset of the devilry that's at hand here. The mindset of quote unquote population reduction. So it's not just that, there's a fear of a Black birth growth spur or whatever you want to call it, but that it can happen in such a way that it would be inevitable for us to come out as restored rulers of the earth. Because after a while, there'd be so many of us that will overwhelm their presence and their ability to be able to control us, even mentally. Even mentally. So how do you deal with that? You've got to do some cleansing. You may think that these wars are, just this country hates this country, wants to do that, but you need to understand certain things behind the scene. After all, if you remember, all the people involved in the fights that are going on today were a part of this, I believe it was a G7 or G11 or 12 summit. They were all a part of it. What takes place in these summits? What kind of conversations go on? You got to understand that people in these positions know how to move the pieces. And they know the effects that they want to obtain. So you may think on ground level, like, oh, well, this fight's happening here, and these people are being bad and mean. But yet the people at top over here are just as much of as acquainted to the issue as the so-called adversary. Imagine the adversary and this person and the person A and person B actually being on one accord. But on ground level, it looks like they're against each other. It looks like they're opposing each other. I remember something that I was hearing one day, and it kind of caught me because I listen a certain way. And what I was hearing was someone citing they were commenting on something in a book in the Bible called Revelation. And they were just talking about the nature of the Antichrist, that people would be in awe of his achievements, and the things that he would do would be impressive. But it would be once he's convinced enough people that he's in their favor, it would be at that time that he would unleash his shenanigans. I'm paraphrasing and whatnot. And so I've been thinking about stuff like this. I've been thinking about the image that Eastern governments have. I've been thinking about the image, I'm using the word image intentionally, that this particular country has, and how they are behaving, in regards to melanated people all over the world. You understand? How they are behaving regarding melanated people all over the world. I think that as we wake up and stand up, that we should be paying attention to all the lessons that we've experienced, understanding what it means to recognize a liar, understanding what it means to recognize a deceiver, because many of us are still wooed by the art of deception of the powers that be in such a way that, one, you may not even recognize it because it's so everyday for you. It's and two, those that do recognize it, recognize it in such a way that's put them in a state of fear to where they don't believe there's anything they could do about their situation or circumstances, or they're not aware of any of it all, and they're just one of the many that are manipulated for the advantages of greater powers that be, who know how to move the pieces. Like I was saying before, some may not realize that there are people who talk about, like, for example, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King is very well a good individual, but the enemy also knows that. And see, the thing about being an enemy, when you're thinking about being evil, it doesn't mean like the guy you see in a movie with his eyebrows bent and like, I'm going to do something evil. I'm going to burn this place down, and I'm going to go in here and do all kinds of traps and stuff. It's not that simple. Sometimes the enemy knows how to use good people and put them in places to have certain actions take place so that they can follow up with another action. They've done it before. If you remember, the Portuguese on this ship were going to put up the British flag. On this ship, we're going to put up our flag, so that you think that these are the bad guys and we're the good guys coming to save the day. So what were the bad guys doing in their portrayal of being bad guys? And what were they doing in their portrayal of being good guys? That means they know essentially what it means to be good. But they know it in a way of how to use it to their advantage, how to use it in a way where you recognize the sleight of hand, them being good, and you ignore the wickedness that they've got coming around the other side. So while you are rising up, standing up, they bring out someone to you who you believe to be in your favor. You understand? Who you believe to be in your interest, and they believe themselves to be. See, this is the thing. This is not saying anything against Martin Luther King, so don't get this twisted. I believe that he was a good man, but I believe that the powers that be also knew that he was a good man, and they knew how to orchestrate things so that whatever movement would happen would be in their favor. And even he realized it later when he realized the mistake that he made. Play back his speeches if you want to know, his later speeches if you want to know and understand the proof of that. So that means all the way up until he got to that point where he woke up to what was going on. What was he doing? What were the effects of what he was doing? Because you need to understand, wicked people can support you too. They can donate to you. They can put money in your cause. Ask the Black Lives Matter peoples. Ask the Black Lives Matter people who are the main people at top to be involved with their organization. So I'm just saying. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Show your support to the platform. You see the Cashapp right there, the TheLightDome. And, let's get this stuff out because, this is observation. This is observation. And I believe that somewhere in that Black excellence, there's a key. Think about that. Think about when we say most high. We're not saying most low. We're not saying the bottom of the bottom. We're saying most high. And we're supposed to be manifestations of the most high. That means it's in us by nature to desire excellence. Why would you desire anything else? Why would you desire to be less than the best you can possibly be? The best of what you manifest, and you manifest the divine breath of the Most High. Black excellence. In there is our key. If you will, to salvation, to success, to victory. That's the bottom line. And it's been shown again and again and again. Whenever we step up to the plate, to the cause, we win. We win. Even if you go back in time, when you think of like Garvey and Nat, they were winners. They were victorious. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to talk. Yeah, they have lost the ground level battle, but the effects of what they did still rings to this day. We still can learn and benefit from what they did. I'm enjoying it. So, yeah, our success, bottom line, is in Black excellence. I've got the link there. I'm going to say it again. I've got the link there if anybody would care to share in their experiences of Black excellence. It'd be nice to hear some morsel of commentary on your experiences of Black excellence, what it means to you, how it affects you, how you've observed it affecting those around you. Black excellence. Do you have any examples of Black excellence in your life? And even if you don't get hear of this the live chat, it'd be nice that those who watch this at a later time put into the comment section your experiences. I'm interested in knowing particularly our experiences with Black excellence. What does it mean for you? Because I feel that the things that we would produce and mention are keys to our solution. They're all pointing in the same direction. We keep on calling out the same types of experience or similar types of experiences. What's the difference between Sha'Carri's success and Israel Adesanya, or even the military leader Ibrahim? What's the difference between their successes? I don't believe there's any, because in each case they had to come with their A game, and they were coming through the gauntlet of all kinds of ill verbiage, ill remarks, criticism, naysayers, all of that. She was running through all of that. So if you can imagine her on that track with all of this in her mind and being able to suppress that long enough to focus on, like, oh yeah, you said this, you said that, watch what I do. This is what I'm saying. You see, even me saying that, you can hear where the energy would be, the transition of energy would be at, to where this must be so because I can. Because I can. That's why. How can you do? Because I can. Coming to the mic with confidence, coming to the track with confidence. Why? Because you can. You know you got this. She already knew she had that. She wanted to make sure everyone else knew. Like, I already know what I can do here. I already know this right here. I already know it. But you want to act like you don't know. Black excellence. So let me go ahead and manifest. Understand, when you are the descendants of the original, I mean, it's like the Most High through and through us is, if you would, for lack of better words, waiting for you to manifest. Instructions included. It's all of your ingredients, all of those essential ingredients, they're all with you. You just have to manifest. Our victory is not waiting for anybody else but us. Our success is not waiting for anybody else. For us, we're waiting for us. Imagine that. We're sitting around like, man, when are we going to win? Well, we're going to win when we declare that we're going to win and manifest it. That's when we will have a victorious outcome. It's only waiting for us. You do the math. You look around. You observe and watch and pay attention to what we do when we're at our best, whatever it is. We've in any field you name, politics, poetry, sports, you name it. To this day, you will hear Maya Angelou's name louder than you hear some names from other people from other ethnicities or races. You hear Maya Angelou as an example of par excellence in her craft. So I'm just saying, family. I'm just saying, these are just observations. So make sure you put in a commentary. I would like to know your experience. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so other people can do the same. They can comment. If you share this and get this out there, then other people could share their commentary. So, dear family, I appreciate your time this evening, and the struggle continues. I do want to tell you that if I remember correctly, that there is a jury selection for the trial of Brother Ozone this Tuesday, September 5th. And there'll be the opening statements on Monday, September 11th. That's for Brother Ozone. So all those people, brothers and sisters who are supporting the situation with Brother Ozone, be sure to tap in. Also, you can go to ortho.org. I think I got the link that I can put here, show you. Yeah, right here. Just go to that link right there. Ortho, I can't say ortho. Ortho.org, and show your support there. So there's that. Also, continue to support your brother Questman. You see the Cash App right there. It's much appreciated, and I appreciate you for looking out. Asante Sana. With that said, this is your brother Questman, aka Abdul Dude. Soul Journey of Life, Conscious Black Social Media. And you have a blessed rest of your time, your day. Take care. Journey of Life, Conscious Black Social Media. The LightDome. LightDome.
TheLightDome.